So I know the only thing that anybody wants to talk about right now is GameStop, AMC, Nokia, and any of these other stocks that were getting shorted and how it's just exploded, and plus how Robinhood just dropped the ball on the whole situation. But we're not going to be talking about that today. Today, we're going to be talking about the earnings report that we got from Microsoft, Apple, and Tesla. Because yes, there's still a whole world of interesting stocks to talk about. So let's get this thing started right here. Whoosh. What's going on, people? It's your boy Kalechi back with another video. If this is your first time around these parts, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy anything that we talk about on this video, hit that like button. Turn that thing, say it with me with the color in the black or blue. But as I said earlier, we're going to be talking about the earnings report from some of the big not tech, because I'm hungry and I'm thinking of steak, but big tech companies that reported earnings this week. I'm going to be focusing on three main ones, like I said earlier, with Microsoft, Apple, and Tesla. So let's get right into it. We're going to go right to the computer and start this thing off. And we will begin this with the number one company in the world, the largest company in the world, which is Apple. And Apple had a blowout. When I say blowout, I mean blowout. And when I say blowout, I mean $100 billion worth of a blowout in the third quarter. I mean, Apple has not hit $100 million in one quarter ever. I mean, first of all, how many companies in the history of life has hit $100 billion in one quarter? It's crazy. It's so crazy. In revenue of the third quarter, Apple reported $111 billion, which is up 21% year over year when you compare it to the same quarter the year prior. And the biggest part of this entire thing for Apple is their iPhone revenue. iPhone revenue reported $65.60 billion. That is a lot of zeros. That is a lot of zeros, which is up 17% from the year prior. Services, they reported $15.76 billion, which is up 24%. Literally, I'm just gonna keep saying it's up 20-something percent because Apple basically just had great double-digit growth in the sales source of basically everything else. Mac revenue was about $9 billion, and that was up 21%. iPad revenue was about $9 billion, and that was up 41%. Overall, the biggest thing in this whole thing is Apple's gross margin actually increased at 39.8%. Oh my goodness. How does Apple do it? That's one of the things that a lot of people love about Apple. It's just the margins that they have on every product that they sell. Not a lot of businesses can say that they have a 30% margin on their business to be able to make a profit of at least 30% on every single product that they sell. That is incredibly hard to do. As a matter of fact, if you think of the grocery business has a profit margin of about, 2 to 5%? I mean, restaurants have 2%? It is crazy. Just think about that. Apple has a revenue gross margin of 39.8%. It's crazy. But the one thing that I want to focus on when it comes to Apple's earnings report is not just all the numbers. The key number that I was looking for is the number of iPhones sold. The reason why you pay attention to the iPhone numbers selling or sold is because unlike any other business, Apple has the perfect funnel down business. Literally, if they can get you to buy the iPhone, if Apple gets you to buy the iPhone, they can funnel you into other things. More than likely, when you're looking for a pair of headphones, guess what you're not going to go buy? You're not going to go buy Bose. You're not going to go buy Sony's. What you're going to buy is probably a pair of AirPods, which is what most people who own iPhones, guess what they have? AirPods. And those things work so well together. And so if they get you to buy that too, guess what? When you're looking for a smartwatch because you're trying to get healthy and you want to monitor yourself better, guess what you're not going to go buy? You're not about to go buy an Amazon watch. You're not about to go buy a Fitbit. You're not about to go buy any of those things. You're going to go get an Apple smartwatch. That's what you're going to do. And then that's how they keep funneling people further and further in. And then even more so, which is the end result of what Apple is trying to get to, is to get every single member or every single person that uses its device to also use its services. which is the bottom of the funnel. It wants to funnel everyone down into the bottom where it's getting you to pay reoccurring dollars for its services like Apple TV, Apple Music. As a matter of fact, most people that have Apple phones, guess what they use for their music source? It ain't Spotify, I can tell you that much. Most people use Apple Music. Why? Because it's convenient. It's already on the phone. I don't have to worry about anything else. It's easy for me to pay, which is how Apple gets you. So that's why we pay attention to the Apple iPhone number sales. And as a matter of fact, Tim Cook said that Apple's total install base for iPhones is over 1 billion, which is up from 900 million. The total active install base for all Apple products is 1.65 billion. That is unbelievable. These are awesome numbers that Apple reported. As a matter of fact, check this out. Wednesday's blowout earnings, this is from a report on CNBC. Wednesday's blowout earnings are also a recovery story for Apple. 2 years ago, Apple warned that its projections for its holiday quarter sales were lower than the company expected. A rare warning that raised questions about whether Apple was losing momentum. On Wednesday, Apple revealed that revenue is up over 32% since that report. So Apple is it's a $2 trillion company and it's still growing. These are the kind of things that we like to see from businesses that know how to evolve itself. Businesses that have shown a willingness to diverge from doing the typical things, to diverge from just staying in its one lane, but finding new avenues for growth, which leads us to the second company. And that's my baby. It's my baby, Microsoft. As you guys know, I love Microsoft. Microsoft is literally my favorite company of all time. It's a company that I believe that most people are sleeping on. Most people are sleeping on Microsoft, in my personal opinion. When people think of big tech companies, guess who they don't mention most of the time? Microsoft. They think of Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. How Netflix is in there and Microsoft is not in there, I don't know, but that's literally what it is. And nowadays, as a matter of fact, you have Tesla that they throw in there as well, and they don't put in Microsoft. Microsoft is so slept on, in my opinion. But anyway, so how did Microsoft do last quarter? Microsoft reported revenue of $43 billion last quarter. Now, let me put this in perspective. Microsoft has never, in the entire existence of existing, that Microsoft has been in existence, has never been able to hit the mark of over 40 billion. The estimate was they were estimated to get 40.18 billion, but still, it is ridiculous. It is unbelievable what Microsoft has been able to do. Again, it goes back to the story of being able to change itself to meet the needs of its audience. And the biggest parts of Microsoft's growth was from its Azure Cloud services. I want to show y'all a graph that I saw. This is from CNBC. And this just demonstrates how Microsoft's business has changed. For year over year, the business has basically been growing from Microsoft's Windows service, Windows commercial services. But now all of a sudden, the biggest part that they're getting most of their revenue from is no longer from their Windows OEM service, but it's actually from their Azure Cloud services. As a matter of fact, last quarter, Azure Cloud services grew at a rate of 50%. 50%. That's just wild, man. That's just wild. And then another part of the business that Microsoft has been able to change and able to grow itself into, it's its Xbox and gaming platform. The segment's operating margin narrowed to 34%, which is not great, from 40%. However, it was able to grow at 26% in the fall. That is good numbers. Now, of course, that may have been boosted by the fact that Microsoft just dropped 2 new consoles, which you still can't buy anywhere. But at the same time, it shows that Microsoft is still a force in the gaming segment. I made a video talking about this, how Microsoft plays a huge role in gaming, and most people don't even think of Microsoft when it comes to gaming at all. And I just think Microsoft, again, I'm very biased when it comes to Microsoft. I say it all the time. Microsoft was my biggest, worst, best mistake of all time, because I mistakenly bought into them because I didn't know what I was doing, and it's been a great decision since I bought into them. I didn't know how to research companies or anything like that, but I bought into them, and it's turned out to be a great decision, at least for me, up until this point. What you want to see whenever you look at a company, you want to see them growing. Even if they're a well-established company, you still want to see some kind of growth aspect to the business. And Microsoft even after years of being around, has still found ways to grow. And I love the fact that the Azure Cloud Services seems to be stealing market share away from AWS. I love that. I love that. But anyway, moving on to company number 3, and it's the one that everybody loves to talk about, and that is Tesla. Yes, I said Tesla. Yeah, I said Tesla. Tesla reported revenues of about $10.74 billion. Those revenues can be broken down into 3 different categories. Category number 1 is, of course, their car business. They made $9.31 billion in the 4th quarter with their car business. While from their revenue from energy generation and storage, they raised $752 million. And then from their other services, which others includes stuff like their tequila. In case you didn't know, Tesla sells tequila, but it was like a special event type of thing. Their apparel merchandise sales, they raised $678 billion. Now for Tesla, what you're paying more attention to is not necessarily the number that they report as far as revenue, or as they report as far as like earnings per share or anything like that, because this business is still very much still growing. The good news is Tesla is cash flow positive as of the 4th quarter, which means for 6 straight quarters, Tesla has been profitable. As a matter of fact, they have $2.79 billion at the end of 2020, which is double what they had in 2019, which was about $1 billion. And that's the good news for Tesla. But the bigger news is the amount of vehicles. How fast can they ramp up their delivery? How fast can they produce new cars, new vehicles, and those kind of things? And they said, looking ahead, Tesla said it would begin producing its newest model, the crossover SUV known as the Model Y, at new plants in Austin, Texas, and in Germany in 2021. They expect to do, I believe it was 50% more deliveries this year. Yeah, it says, they announced over a multi-year horizon, we expect to achieve 50% average annual growth in the vehicle delivery. So that's more good news if you're a Tesla shareholder. And plus, the bigger news is the fact that they're going to be doing their own batteries from here on out. For these new Model Ys that are going to be coming out, it's going to be based on their own battery technology. So, but anyway, that's the 3 companies that I just wanted to dive into their earnings real quick. Let me know, what do you think of all 3 of these companies? Which one of these companies are you invested in? If you are invested in any of them, let me know down in the comments. Are there any other companies that you're going to be watching their earnings coming up in the next few days and next few weeks? I know next week we got Amazon, we got we got Amazon, Google, and a few other companies that I'll be looking at and paying attention to their earnings as well. I mean, this week we had Facebook, but I wasn't going to talk about Facebook because I don't really care that much. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you really loved it, hit that subscribe button. But that's all I got. Remember, generosity is always greater than greed. God bless each and every single one of y'all, and I'm out. Peace. Whoosh.